Lasts forever.
Yeah, so you can, so that same shield that I got, I can apply to an ally as well if I'm just hitting an ally.
If you're just shooting them with that basic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it applies that shield to them as well as you. Your M2 is a spell check just like Jade's E. It does increase damage the longer it's up. I like the extra damage Battlerite because being able to do 36 damage allows you to have better orb control over other people. Like, so. Then I also take the spell block silence increaser. It's good to abuse people. So this, if you pass through it, it snares the person and causes them to like take damage. Your E blocks projectiles for speed, so that'll eventually go through it.
Okay.
But and then your EXE is a circle. Walk through that. And that stuns if they walk into that edge. It's like a Vigar E, if you know League enough.
Enemy team claimed.
Okay. Complex mechanic. Her Q is a regular counter that causes her to go up in the air and becomes a more like iframes, and it causes an AoE to shoot out where you're aiming your mouse, and it causes you to move where you're aiming your keys.
Okay.
So like where you're aiming your mouse. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
I'll try that again. Her R is one of her best abilities, but probably hardest to use. So that is the Mega Sphere. Whatever hits it, it dons the effect of that projectile. So
wow.
It'll do the extra damage of the Power Blaster, like the 16 damage burst if you want it to just break. Like if you just want it to be fast, so it'll do like that 30 damage burst.
Yeah.
If you charge your full M2 at it, it'll do like 50 damage and silence do a silence check with everybody who gets hit by it.
Does that combo with like say Iva if she has oil on people and then you toss this out and then she hits that with a rocket?
No.
Okay.
It won't do that, sadly. But like what's really useful is if you get a Baco double in cap on his space, you can just do this, and that's 50 damage to 2 people that they can't avoid.
Okay.
So that's also really good for getting orbs too.
For sure.
Team claimed the orb.
And then her ulti bounces off every wall. It's the most broken thing in tight spaces. It does ridiculous amounts of damage, and I hate it a lot. And I'm surprised it didn't get nerfed, because Jesus. It does a lot of damage if you hit a person like up to 4 times. So, but it's... Oh yeah, and her space, you turn into a ball. If you hit a person with her space, it does damage and knocks them back. That can proc counters though, so be careful on that.
Okay.
And I like to take extra damage, extra knockback Battlerites on Destiny's space because it does like 22 damage with those Battlerites.
Wow.
And it just helps a lot. Blast processing is also really good. It makes your Q, the AoE that your counter hits, do 30 damage.
Okay.
So that's also good. Like this is the full damage Destiny build pretty much. And I don't even think Sizzles is that great. I could take that off and probably do something else.
Damn it.
Claimed the orb.
Is there any way I can make my counter shot come off sooner, or is it a set timer?
Your what shot?
Like
oh no, it's a set timer.
Okay.
You can't just shoot it faster. Sorry. It's hard to hit with people who have like, because usually you aim it at where a person's moving, and then I'll just move it the opposite direction of where I'm moving, right at the end. It's just my movement. Like I can't expect you to like be able to handle aiming at that level yet.
Still haven't moved on to supports yet. There's so many ranged. Yeah, there's 9 ranged, and then oh no, yeah.
Supports is where I come in clutch. I know all the supports pretty well.
Hell yeah.
the support main. Let's see. So who's next? Taya, another really high skill cap champ. Very high skill cap. Very rewarding to learn her very well.
Yeah.
Versus the top player in this game plays a lot of Taya in solo queue because of how dominant you could be with her, but she is very unforgiving.
Okay.
So she's like an aggressive. She's an aggressive ranged. That's insane. Infinite Chaos, I got you on the serious. I know him very well. I'll help you out with that. So her mechanic is based around haste, and that gives her a speed boost, and so she is probably the most difficult person to hit in the game.
Okay.
Cause like press space.
Yo.
Look how fast you're moving.
Oh, you get faster than the mount.
Yeah, and then like if you press E on yourself, that also can give you haste. And then if you have a certain Battlerite, you can use your abilities while you're hasted and do damage rather than standing still. Okay, so her auto attacks come back, they're boomerangs. Her attacking, so the boomerang coming at you, you can counter. The boomerang coming back, you can't counter.
Okay.
Otherwise, Taya would be the worst champion in the game, right?
Right.
Because you'd be able to counter anything easily every time. So like that you can counter, that you can't. That is really hard to hit.
I believe
They
it.
meet up in the little circle that you aim at. So it's really useful to get orbs with.
Enemy team claimed
You can also get crosscut, which means when they intersect, they both do like extra damage.
Okay.
Your E causes, so I'm gonna aim my E a little bit behind you, and it's gonna push you into the center of that. See how that works? So it's really useful to be like, so if I'm like gonna go Sonic the Hedgehog on you, and then I hit you with that, I can start that up and hit you with a stun, for example. Your Q is a knockback, and if I hit, is this a Battlerite? I think it's oh yeah. If you have this Battlerite, which is like a necessary Battlerite, if you hit a wall with the knockback, it stuns.
Okay.
So that's really necessary, especially for landing your M2s. Your EXQ is a dash forward that does damage and knocks people back.
Okay.
That can hit counters though, so be careful on that. Your EXM1 is that it's pierces, and when it comes back it stuns. So yeah, I don't want to show you that, so stand still. Should come back stun. Yeah, it comes back with even more damage and stuns. It's really useful to get I call it the sleeper orb tactic. So like people are like kind of fighting around orbs, but people are ignoring the orb, and you'll just eventually get it.
the orb.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Her R is an iframe that you can cast on anybody, and you float back into the position in which you casted. Okay.
Okay.
And then her ultimate is...
Team
I'm
claimed
gonna need energy for this. Go get those HP orbs. Alright, I just need to hit you once. Okay, so her ultimate is pretty much you're on a mount throwing out, you're hasted, you're on a mount, you're throwing out boomerangs at a really fast rate. The thing I want to show you is, yeah, hit that orb, because I'm pretty sure this will kill you. When you summon it, whatever hits, it does 30 damage. And then you throw
nice.
boomerangs at a really fast rate, and you have a shield while you're on your mount.
Looks like you have like a gust effect in front. Do you stop projectiles from the front?
No, you don't, sadly.
Okay.
You're just moving real fast.
Okay. You're Sonic on a ram.
There's Taya got a huge buff at like the start of early access seasons.
Yeah.
And there was a meme that was like Taya on top of Sonic. Taya's head on top of Sonic, gotta go fast. Because literally she would just be like, you could haste forever. You can still haste forever with this build that I have right here, but it's a lot harder to do. Like you have to hit people to haste.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Holy cow!
What's up?
I hasted into like my haste like stacked. It seemed like almost.
Your team claimed the orb.
What? you iframed into me. What the hell? How am I supposed to play against these players? What are you doing? Oh, it's alright.
Lost.
I'm so confused.
My gang.
Alright. That's Taya. Really fun champ to play, just really hard to get down. But once you get her, she's a monster. Especially climbing a diamond. Because people can't hit you. Like, if you're good at Taya, you will never get touched by people below, like, diamonds. It's hilarious. Alright, support time. Let's get my girl Lucy in here. Lucy's the hardest support in the game. Most definitely the hardest support in the game. If you mess up once, you're dead. She has the most heals, the most protection out of everybody. Like, her heal alone does 14 HP increase, 14 HP back, and then it does 6 HP over time.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's 20 HP per heal.
That's
And
nutty. Holy
yeah.
cow.
It's a massive amount. And then you get companion potion. That bumps up to 24 HP on your allies per heal. That's a lot, especially with how fast it goes. Her auto attacks apply toxic, which does damage over time.
Okay.
So that's cool. I like to do weakening toxin as a Battlerite. So when a person's applied, that toxic's applied, their healing is reduced and their outgoing damage is reduced. It's really good to match up with Thorn's neurotoxin, so they have really reduced damage and a lot of reduced healing. Her space is barrier, and it's just a massive shield. That's pretty much it. It's just a giant shield that shields up to 50 damage. You can negate a whole entire ult using that space. It's the biggest shield in the game. You can even get a Battlerite that makes your shield larger. You can get a Battlerite that makes your shield do extra damage. Put knockback. And you can also get a Battlerite that makes your shield give you people movement speed. That's Panic Flask. Whatever you hit gets panicked away. I have Chaos, which also makes an AoE around you that people near you will also get panicked. Your EXM1 is Deadly Injection, and that will do damage over time. So it does 24 damage after a set amount of time. Okay, so your Q is the hardest thing about Lucy. It's called Clarity Potion. You really got to think about how to use this. It's one of the best abilities in the game by far. So I'm going to hit you with my EXM1. You know how it does the damage over time, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to Clarity Potion yourself after. So 3, 2, 1. Now you won't take damage.
Oh, nice.
So it's a cleanse, but it's the best cleanse in the game. Because if a Shifu is immaterial running at you, you can literally Clarity Potion him and he won't be immaterial anymore.
Oh, wow.
If a Paloma's other-sided and you throw a Clarity Potion at her, she won't be other-sided anymore.
Okay.
Like, hit me with a Panic Flask.
Haha.
See, it's nuts. It's hard to do, but it's there's some really cool tech you can do with Lucy. Her only iframe is her roll, which you just roll. You saw it. Mm-hmm. You negate damage when you roll because it's an iframe. And her ultimate, which I'll just get. Oh yeah, her EXE is an instant petrify. It's really powerful because there's no, like, barely any cast time. You're just.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me get ultimate. Ultimate's crippling goo. And you get it's pretty much you get snared, there's an impact damage, and then it does damage over time. So it's really a lot of damage in that little AoE.
Holy cow. Yeah.
But yeah, that is Lucy pretty much. she has a really basic, straightforward kit that is really difficult to use against all the other champions in the game. But
That makes
it's
sense.
very useful if you are playing with a